Howdy gamers, welcome to Droll Gaming. Today we'll be taking a look at Lies of P, a Soulsborne action-adventure which plays Pinocchio, your favorite childhood character. Except this time, Pinocchio is a mechanized femboy with an arm cannon. Joining you is Jiminy, who is assimilated into Mark Zuckerberg's metaverse to provide you assistance from the great beyond, similar to Skynet. Together, the two of you will fight a world of other puppets to win Daddy Geppetto's love and affection. What you'll be seeing today is footage from the demo that is currently out on Steam. Gameplay. I was sucking the sauce off my fingers after witnessing the gameplay. Absolutely phenomenal. Now let me preface by saying that I'm a huge Souls fan. I cuddle my Emerald Hero pill every night and have locked myself in my room for many a night, losing friends and family through the long hours I gaze into my monitor.
Curses upon you and yours, for generations eternal.
Anyway, this game scratches a deep groove in my brain and craves Dark Souls-like gameplay. Lies of P features a lock-on system, making it easier to track enemies with, along with a light attack, heavy attack, parrying, which opens an opportunity for a critical hit and thus turbulence, Fable Arts, which are attacks unique to certain weapons and can be used after gathering enough charges by attacking enemies, a mechanical arm, which can be modified with different abilities, similar to Nero from Devil May Cry 5, and Pinocchio's signature light-skinned stare. During combat, you can replenish health by using pulse cells, replenishable consumables similar to Estus. The only exception being that the more times you hit them with your funny little metal stick, the faster they replenish. Not to mention, there are gestures, so you can Fortnite emote on top of your enemy before you slaughter him in front of his puppet family. Overall, the game has very tight controls and feels satisfying to play. With that said, one gripe I have is with the rolling. Similar to other Souls-like games, you can roll and gain iframes to dodge attacks. However, because Pinocchio's long nose contains 4 times the number of olfactory receptors than a normal human that is tuned in like a hunter to prey, you cannot roll away from a target, even if you're locked onto it. You may only sidestep. Not sure that this was an intentional choice by the developers, but it can sometimes feel a bit clunky. I worked around this by turning off my lock-on when fighting larger enemies and bosses. With any enemy, no matter how large or small, drops moon rock, referred to as ergo, a form of cryptocurrency left by Geppetto that he uses to purchase stimulants from the puppet dark web and power the city. Fortunately for you, the player, Geppetto's illicit activities means that you can also use this essence to level up attributes ranging from Vitality, which increases your hit points, Vigor, which provides you with more stamina, Capacity, which increases your dosage of anabolic trend, so it lets you carry more, and Motivity, Technique, and Advance, all of which can increase your physical attack. Based on these attributes, you can choose your build, either Dex, Strength, or a combination of the two. Like any modern scholar, I put all of my points into damage. After all, why poke more when few poke do trick? Consequently, I blew up nanoseconds into combat with any enemy. But hey, you know what they say. Anyway, speaking of enemies, they consisted of normal mob-type enemies, mini-bosses, and bosses, the first of which I made it to the time I played the demo. What stuck out to me in combat was that it was difficult to predict what the enemy would do, as I felt there was little tell in what type of attack they would give. Some might dislike this lack of clarity attack patterns, but I frankly like it. It's like when your dad finally comes home and he either has A. Milk, B. Cigarette, or C. Or half a bottle of Jack Daniels and a sock filled with nickels. Every time, it will be a surprise. As you might expect, there are different weapons to complement different builds, as well as different outfits and armor pieces. While some may be purely cosmetic, like the sophisticated and dignified boarding schoolboy outfit, others, like the
Lotta F350 frame,
give stat increases, ensuring that Pinocchio is well equipped to save humanity, by killing everything else in sight. Story. In Lies of P, you wake up on a train after a crazy, moonrock-inspired bender and stumble to find yourself in the town of Krat, where you begin to look for your sugar daddy, Geppetto. Along the way, you meet several friends who look to help you, including a puppet mechanic.
Oh, I forgot to introduce myself. I know my way around weapons of all kinds.
And Jiminy, who is normally a cricket, except in this game, he's an ephemeral being who lives in your ear to remind you of your failures.
I hope everybody's safe.
The town of Krat lies in ruin, and it seems to involve puppets beginning to have a mind of their own and go on a rampage in what has become to be known as the Puppet Frenzy. Maybe the people of Krat had it coming, But as far as we, the player, know from the demo, things have taken a turn for the worse either way. It seems as if there will be side quests similar to other Soulsborne games, where you can help minor characters. For example, this lady who heard me lurking outside her house for things to steal thought it'd be a good idea to ask me to also look for her child.
9-1. May I ask you a favor?
It must be because of how good I look. Within the game, it seems that lying will be a central story mechanic where, depending on if you lie or not, the outcome of the story and its inhabitants may change. Why, of course not. What would make you think that? Visuals. Visually, the game looks fantastic. Seriously, I could find myself periodically pausing the game to enjoy the scenery, although the farther away you get from the foreground, things become a little less detailed. Prior to playing the game, I pulled out my Soviet Russia-era BESM-1 supercomputer and fixed the rat-nibbled wires with some electrical tape, and was able to run the game beautifully, as I imagine it would also on most average modern PCs. The art direction that the developers took seems to be of a late 1800s Victorian-era style, where the people you encounter are wearing ornate dresses and neatly pressed tailcoats. Additionally reminiscent of the era is the 50-foot-tall animatronics that patrol and lay waste to anyone who is outside past sundown, which, fortunately, includes you, the player. Sound. Once I was able to channel my inner chi and block out the constant ringing I hear from my gradually acquired tinnitus from years of listening to concerts in the front row, the sound design in the game sounded excellent. Everything from enemy attacks to weapons colliding with metal or other enemies. The sound design in this game is a work of art. The soundtrack for the game is very atmospheric and fits the aesthetic of the game perfectly, as I can become immersed in the orchestral music that plays as a giant nutcracker delivers back shots to Pinocchio until his health meter runs out. Moreover, the voice actors for the game are fitting and match the characters well, especially Sophia, who has a voice I could listen to forever.
I'm so happy to see you.
Summary. In sum, Lies of P has been a very enjoyable experience from what I've seen from the demo. I will likely look to review the remainder of the game after it comes out. With that said, I would give the game in its current state 9 endowed noses out of 10, as hopefully the last will come in the final mission as Pinocchio says his catchphrase, "It's Noken time," and blows Geppetto's back out with his lengthy nose. Anyway folks, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and will look to play this game to help defeat the mob of puppets loving anarchy, the MPLA, so that puppets, like Pinocchio, can freely enjoy beans and toast, tea, and lying once again. Have a good one.
Our journey to victory has begun! Death to the MPLA!